Well, hello again, dear ones. Robert Brzezinski with you. I want to say hello to those that are watching on a video replay at a later time because you always get to see the stream before the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live. People get to see it, but once it goes live there, then others are able to see it. And I want you to know that today, this is very different. This is an experiment. It's an opportunity to just be present to what's going on in the world. And it's an opportunity to be present with anyone that wants to be. So the idea is called Ask Me Anything or Ask a Minister Anything. There are no questions that are out of bounds. And I'm going to hang out here for a while. Now, the way we're going to do this is there's a couple ways. Number one, you can chat in the chat box what your question is, and I'm happy to answer that. You're also welcome to send an email over to revbriz@spiritevolving.com, and I'll do my best to get that in here. Now, really the best thing to do is if you put your question in the comments on Facebook Live, I'll be able to pull them up on the screen, share them, and answer them. And the other really cool thing is if you would like to actually come into this space, this virtual space with me, and you can sit in my chair there, right? And we can get you, well, virtually. But if you'd like to join the virtual space and ask your question live, well, we're happy to do that as well. And that's the cool part about this technology is I can pull you in and you can come join me. As long as you're in front of a computer, you can come join in and ask the question live right here in the room, or I'd be more than happy. We can just, chat for a while, pray together, whatever it might be. And I see my buddy Joe is here. Hoping family is doing well. Yes, Joe, we are doing very well. Thank you, as well as two adults and two teenagers and a whole bunch of furry animals can too. Not being allowed to do much more than go for a walk or two every day. It's good to see you here, Joe. Joe, we're going to get back to playing some frisbee golf at some point here, I promise. And when that happens, we'll go there. But that's going to happen, and we'll get back to that again. That's the fun part, folks, right? Is we're going to get back to pretty much everything at some point in time. Now, what it looks like when we get back to it, that's going to be a little bit different. So yes, things are changing, and yes, everything's changing. However, there really isn't, there's no normal to go back to. I'm talking about that lately a lot. There's no normal to go back to. But there is a new world emerging. There's a new paradigm emerging. There's a new vision for humanity emerging. And, I get it. This can be a scary time. This can be a crazy and weird time. And what I also know is that at the end, once we get through this, we're not going back to normal, because the normal we came from is what caused the problems we're having today. What we used to think was normal, allowing for wet markets across Asia. What we used to think was normal in business, we're now learning all of that is what brought us to where we are. So I can't imagine why we would want to go back to anything else. But what I do know, and what I can imagine, and what I am seeing is that we're going towards something. We're moving in the direction of something new. Now, I've got an idea what it is. I'm sure you've got an idea what it is. And I'd love to have you share that with me and let me know what you think that is. Because together, humanity, we have the perfect opportunity. There's no better time than right now to create what we wish to see. There's no better time than right now to let our imaginations run wild, to put aside whatever we thought it was we were supposed to be, or put aside whatever it is we thought we were supposed to be doing, to really answer the call of our souls. And so um, I personally, I'm doing that. You're going to see more and more of me online. You're doing prayers pretty much twice a day. And my buddy Joe here just offered, yeah, Joe, I'll get in touch with you after this program. We'll get you on the schedule, get you praying in here and in this room, and praying with people and because, and I want anybody watching to remember, this is, when I say prayer or praying, in religious science, New Thought, science of mind, this isn't something where we're begging and beseeching God to answer some idea or to fulfill some perceived need, or to really do anything. What we're doing is we're treating our mental attitude through a very specific process to embrace and recognize the ultimate truth of God's life on this planet. And so for me, prayer is the most sacred of activities, because it's that time when I get to truly remind myself of what I believe, what I know, and what I wish to experience in the world. So again, today's program is sort of Ask Me Anything. The best way to get a question into the room, I'm going to sit here for about an hour or so, which means you can listen to me ramble or not. You can go somewhere else. Some of you might already be somewhere else. That's okay too. But really the idea is, let's get into some dialogue. So if you have a question, chat it in the comments of the Facebook page, or let me know through there if you'd like to come on the program live right now. We can get you in this room in the next 2 minutes. All you got to do is say, hey, I want to come in and say hello. I will send you a direct message with a link, and then you click that link and you'll be in the studio broadcast room with me here, and I'll bring you in live on Facebook as well. So if you've got a question, you're just wondering, we'd like to hear a different perspective. If you'd like to get a spiritual perspective on something, or you're just not sure how to handle something, or you want a clearer definition of what it is that we believe in religious science, in New Thought, through the Centers of Spiritual Living, let me know. Put your comments in the box. Now, again, if this is recorded, if you're watching the recording later, well, I can't bring you in live into the room. But for those that are watching live, all you got to do is chat in that comment box and let me know. I'll be more than happy to bring you into the show, and we can have a live dialogue, right? That's one of the things I'm seeing through all of this, is there is a great opportunity here for us to redefine what it means to be friends, colleagues, in relationship, in community, in a neighborhood, what it truly means to be a citizen of this planet. And we're getting to go through all those things right now, in real time. We're getting to witness them moment by moment by moment. And I do a 15-minute podcast once a week called "And Now the Good News." And when I'm doing that, let me see if I have a link for that to share with you. I don't at the moment, maybe later. So I've been doing this podcast, "And Now the Good News." You can find it on all the podcast platforms out there. It's pretty much everywhere and all over my Facebook wall. And it's about 15 minutes a week, where 10 to 15, where I get to just share and touch base on some highlight stories that have made their way across my desk in the week that I think you'll find inspiring and uplifting, and a great reminder that we're all in this together. And this was the third week since I've been in, not in quarantine, but in physical isolation. I'm not quarantined from my family, so we're all still piling all over each other and sharing meals and all that. But it's the third week that I've produced a show during this time. And I want you to know there's still a ton of good news going on out there. There's actually more good news stories than ever before. And I've been able to see, and Um, I'm watching. Uh, I'm watching humanity shift and evolve in front of my very eyes. Things that people would never have thought of doing even 2 or 3 weeks ago are now becoming commonplace. Youth and teenagers doing grocery shopping for the elderly. That's a big, like everywhere that's popping up because that's something easy people can do. Now, what I really want is I want to know that this is going to continue, that we're not, this isn't just a, oh, yeah, yeah. We're creating a new mental groove, a new groove in our brains, a new a new way of being with friends and family and community all across, all over the place. And so my prayer, what I want to know is I want to know that these things are going to continue, that they're going to keep moving forward, and that we're changing the way we show up on the planet right now. People are more conscious and more aware of ever. Maybe it's based on the fear, and some of it is. It's based on the fears that are out there. It's based on people, not feeling secure, uncertain of their future, and all of that. And yet, we're going to come out of this into an experience that is just so much better. It's going to be so much different, my belief, because ultimately we've got a lot of going on here, um, and it's going on in a great way. I know it doesn't look like that right now. I know that there are all kinds of um, weirdnesses that are going on, and we can go look and find the stuff that doesn't really fit. It appears like it doesn't, but ultimately, at the end of the day, there's something happening here, something good, something spiritual that's happening. Life, humanity is growing and evolving. Um, it is amazing, even in its ugliness, even in its weirdness. So, um, so anyway, life is okay. We're all okay, and there is a pathway that's revealing itself to move forward in all of this. But right now, on the physical level, it just means isolation. It means we got to stay away from each other. But it doesn't mean we have to stay away from each other completely. And anybody that's been on social media this week knows that things are just blowing up like crazy, because things are blowing up in a big way. And so it looks like I just got a private message from someone who is watching that says prayers for those that have been laid off this week would be good. And I agree. So why don't we do just a brief spiritual mind treatment here, set aside the day and drop into that place of knowing that there is truly only one love, one life, one power, one presence, and that experience, that expression of God's life is happening in and through and all about, everywhere, every time, every moment. There's something magnificent that's going on, and that thing is called God. So I know God's moving and breathing and having its being as all life, everyone, everywhere. And in that, I know that there is the right and divine and perfect work for each one. That everyone right now is being called to reevaluate, to reimagine what that perfect work is. And yes, some are by choice or not letting go of the current situation, the current experience of work and prosperity, and how they allow the flow of God's great prosperity to move into their lives. And all of that is preparing each for the next, for the greater yet to be. So whatever may feel like it is lost or has been lost this week, I claim for each one that feels that loss, a sense of recognizing that the job, the what seemed to be the source was not the source. That the work was never the source. The job was never the source. That God was forever sourcing your life through those jobs, through those experiences. And even though the job may no longer be there, the source remains. God continues to pour its mighty source of financial abundance through all. And so the form, the avenue through which that financial abundance flows is changing, yes, but the source is not depleted. The source could never be depleted. That oneness called God could never be depleted. There is more than enough for everyone all across this planet and beyond, flowing from that one source. And so I know that my work is to come into alignment with that recognition, come into alignment with that truth, that there is a divine expression happening, that there is the divine source, and we may each tap into it. And we may cast aside the worldly trappings we call our job or our income. We may cast all that aside and rest in the knowingness that God's got this, that we're a part of that flow. And that so that financial good must come into our lives as we accept it, as we say yes to it, then it must come into our lives. It can't be any other way. So I claim for each that is feeling that sense of loss around work or livelihood to recognize there is a new way of being, a new calling, a new vision that is emerging. And we are each at that point of being open to the choice of it. So I claim for each the sense of saying yes, of letting go of any sense of lament or sorrow, for letting go of the old, and an absolute sacred yes in preparation for the new and glorious way of being in the world. That's the good. I am so grateful for that reminder to be in that place. So I release this word into the law and I let it be. I know God's got it, and so it is. So thank you for that prayer request. This is fun, monitoring Facebook and these and that and something else. Pretty darn good. Being bombarded with a spam message at the moment in Facebook Messenger, and every time somebody leaves the conversation, my bell goes ding, which is kind of fun. But so anyway, okay, back to our purpose here today, folks. You know, the idea is ask me anything, and I'm ask a minister anything. Let's put that up on the. There we go. Yeah, ask a minister anything. Put your if you've got questions, drop them into the comments on Facebook Live. They'll show up and I'll answer them here. If you'd like to join me in this room anytime between now and the top of the hour, and you have a question, you'd like to join me live, by all means, let me know. I'll shoot you a quick link via direct message, and you can jump into the room and join me here. We'll have a chance to really kind of converse and share if you like, or pray together, whatever it might be. But what I know is that even if nobody ever watches this, if this little piece of digital, if these little digital files, these little ones and zeros live forever on the internet, they will. If no one else ever watches this, that's okay. Because somebody is watching this. And somewhere, even if it's just by the very fact that two or more were gathered, we're creating a vibration. We're creating a mental equivalent. We're creating something different. And that is God's nature. Now, remember, if you're new to all this, God is not some guy out there in the sky, not some judgment figure, not some long-bearded judge that says, yes, I answer your prayers, but no, I don't answer your prayers. That's not how it works. Throughout all of history, throughout all religions and all belief systems, there are what many call the omnis: omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. All-powerful, all-knowing, always present. Now, I kind of shorten that down to the power, the presence, and the intelligence. So by its very nature, God is nothing more and nothing less than the power, presence, and intelligence of everything, of all life. My life, your life, lives of those people I don't agree with. Right? Surprise, there's a minister that has people they don't agree with. There's all kinds of people I don't agree with. There's all kinds of philosophies I don't agree with. There's all kinds of political perspectives and maneuverings and all that stuff that I don't agree with. However, I don't have to. All I've got to remember is that we're all in this together. And that everybody's doing, really, I believe, the best they can. So at this time, when I believe everybody is being called to something new, everybody's being called to their soul's desire a bit more than ever before. We've got the time, we've got the technology. There is a power, presence, and intelligence that's operating through and as all of this stuff. And so we each get to stand up, and you're going to hear the dogs in the background probably a little bit there. We all are being given an opportunity to say yes to that calling, to say yes to what's coming next. And ultimately, if we believe that God is of power, presence, and intelligence, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, if we choose to believe that, then there can't be anything wrong going on. Because of that, there's no separation. It's all just one life. One life with 7 billion plus heartbeats. One life with, well, billions and billions more when we count the furry creatures and the winged and scaly creatures and all that. So all of this stuff, there's this cosmic soup bowl of life, and every part of it is a drop of God's life, is an expression of God's life. So we are all, by our very nature, perfect. Just the fact that you're on the planet at this time means that you're perfect. Those choosing to leave the planet, perfect at this time. And we each get to express that in unique and fun and sometimes weird and strange, confusing ways. And just because I don't agree with something you might say, just because I don't agree with a perspective or a philosophy, doesn't make it wrong. It's still part of God. It's still God expressing. So there must be something there that's calling me. If it shows up in my life, it's for me, not about me. Somebody shows up in my life with a new idea, it's for me, not about me. Somebody says they don't like my videos, or they don't like what I'm doing. It's not about me, it's for me. It's an opportunity for me to consider, well, how do I want to show up in the world? What do I want to share with the planet? Because how I show up is going to attract back to me the events and experiences and the people and the opportunities that are next for me. So in all of this, I am getting the opportunity to really dive into the vision that I've been experiencing through and as my life for a number of years now, a virtual ministry. And not just, and something different. I'm here and I want to have conversations. I want to talk with people. I want to support people. I want to be there and provide people opportunities to explore what's next for them. What's your next big thing? How do you make that happen? And for me, it's pretty obvious. It's video. It's video. It's the New Thought Media Network. It's New Thought Radio. I wonder if I've got it on, if I can turn it up real quick. Excuse me, there you go. The breath I breathe. You ask me, what do I believe? That might not sound too good, but it's Jamie Lula playing in the background, right? Because New Thought Radio is a divine ideal that is coming through. We're streaming live, or not live, but we're streaming all your favorite New Thought artists. Daniel Nema, Jamie Lula, Karen Drucker, Melissa Felipe, Kelly Corsino, probably maybe people you haven't heard of. I would hope you've heard of Gary Lynn Floyd by now. He's on the station. And so many talented New Thought artists that are raising the vibration of this planet one song at a time, 10 songs at a time, 20 songs at a time. Daniel Nema recently did 12 nights of live stream concerts and only repeated a handful of songs across those 12 nights. There's a great body of his work over on his webpage that you can take a look at and catch up on what he was doing. And New Thought Radio is here to support everybody in raising the vibration, in keeping that vibration high, by filling the background of our lives, filling the spaces in between with I feel you, I feel you. Really good music. I feel you. Really, really good music. And New Thought Media Network is in discussions to produce a really cool concert for you online. And that's how it changes. That's how we change humanity. One vibration at a time. You, me, everybody. So here we are, about 28 minutes, 26, 27 minutes into this thing, and I promised myself I would go for an hour, so let's keep it moving. You know, if you're out there and you have a question you'd like to ask that you'd like answered, if you this is Ask a Minister Anything, and all you got to do is chat it into the comments box, and I'll see that, and then I can answer it. Or if you'd like to come and sit in my virtual chair right there and have a conversation live with me right now, we can make that happen as well. So we have the technology. I'll send you a quick direct message, private message with a link. You click the link, you'll show up in the studio, and then we'll bring you into the live feed, and you can be on Facebook Live that easy, that quick, right here, and ask me anything. You can, let's see, what can you ask me? Can you ask me my favorite ice cream flavor? Of course you could. That would be easy. There might be a few questions I don't answer. I don't know. But ultimately, the idea is let's look at what's really real. Let's look at what's going on in our lives. Let's look at what's going on in the world and not put a spiritual spin on it. I'm not here to spin anything. I'm not here to try to sell you on any of this stuff. What I'm here, I believe, in this experience, is to simply be open. To be open to whatever shows up. And be willing to share, from my perspective, what the science of mind teaches us about those things. We've been, what's there's an old joke in here somewhere, I can't remember all of it, but it basically ends with, what did you expect? You gave a minister a microphone. Well, right now, there's a lot of ministers with microphones that you probably have never heard of before, or have no idea what their message is, how they share the message. And I'm finding this has been a really rich and robust time to actually be able to share the message with so many people. One of the things I'm doing, and it's great. So like Sunday mornings, you do have to be, Sunday mornings we're sort of overloading Facebook, I'll tell you that. If I would have to, I always joke, I'm still working on learning how to bilocate, but I'd have to like 1,000th locate to be at all the different Sunday morning talks and services from all the people I know that are on Facebook Live and other platforms right now. But I love it. I love it, because that means for everyone out here, there are so many more opportunities. There are more opportunities than ever before to tap into multiple services, and not just in one day, but You can catch a 20-minute talk 10 different times in a day. Catch them on the recording, play them on Tuesday, play them on Thursday. It's that easy anymore. Every minister that I know has gone global in the last 3 weeks. Everybody. We've all gone global because I'm doing a meditation thing on Saturday the 11th. And here, why don't I share that with you just a little bit. Let's see, where is that? There it is. So I'm doing a 3-hour mini meditation retreat on Saturday the 11th. It starts at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 Mountain, 10:30 Connecticut, 11:30 Eastern. You can register at minimeditation.gr8.com. And this is going to be in Zoom. It's a great experience. I've done these mini meditations before, and we have so much fun with them. Okay, I'm back. We have so much fun with them because it's not an all-day commitment. It's not an all-weekend commitment. It's a few hours. But I tell you, the different meditations that I've stacked up in that time frame, you will grasp, and you will get to see a whole new vision for your life in those 3 hours. If not, I'll give you your money back. It's a love offering, so if not, you don't pay me anything. Point is, right now, there has never been a better time that I've ever been involved with New Thought. Right now is the best time I have ever seen to really immerse yourself and to really look at, well, what do I believe? What are my spiritual practices? How committed am I to those practices? And how can I then listen and hear the calling of my soul? Because now more than ever, your presence is vital. The gifts that you bring to this thing called life, those are gifts that only you can bring. Nobody else can bring them. Some people might bring gifts that look the same or sound similar or feel similar, but you bring a unique combination of gifts and skills and talents that nobody else has ever brought to the planet, nobody else will ever will. So who you are is vital. How you show up is vital. Now more than ever. Right? We're each at that place of being offered the opportunity to show up as a beneficial presence on the planet, or to show up in the disbelief and promote the hurt and the wrong and the humanness that isn't the truth. Yeah, we go through it, we experience it on the human level, but it isn't the absolute truth. So you get that opportunity to say, hey, this is how I want to show up. This is where I'm being called. And then we get to do that. This mini meditation retreat is just a fabulous way. Why don't I do this as well? I'm getting to play with this new toy. I'm still learning all the different things I can do inside of StreamYard. And this one doesn't seem like it'd be all that hard to do. There it is. You can jump over to the mini meditation.gr8 to register for free. Join me on the 11th for a few hours, and we'll pray, and we'll meditate, and we'll vision, and you'll come away with a better understanding of what's calling you, of where you're being called to your greatness in this world, in your life. There's a lot of things we can do. There's a resurgence of spirituality all over the place. Some of you watching may know that I've been doing a daily email blast for 7-8 years now, maybe. I forget exactly when I started it. 7 or 8 years, a daily email blast where you get a quick, easy to read email. It's got an affirmation and an inspiration and a call to action for your life. And it's there and it's designed to support you throughout your day. Had so much fun doing that along the way. Spirit said, "Well, let's up the ante a little bit here then, and let's make it a daily podcast as well." And now, Daily Spirit Callings is a 90-second podcast between 90 seconds and 2 minutes every day, 7 days a week. There's over a year of back episodes out there already, and you can check that out directly at dailyspiritcallings.transistor.fm, scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. And you can check out the podcast. The point is, there's no reason we can't be intimate with our own spiritual experience right now. To really take that deep dive, drop in, and okay, what is mine to do? What is really mine to do here? So I think it's an important question. I think we're all getting an opportunity to answer that question right now. And if you'd like some support in that, that's what I'm here for. Myself, and I can, if not me, I can point you in the direction of a lot of great colleagues. You can send a prayer request to revbriz@spiritevolving.com. I'll add that to my daily prayer book. Got my daily prayer book. I pray on this every day. It sits there and sits right here by my hand. And throughout the day, I'm constantly picking up that book and looking at the most recent requests that people have sent me, and praying on all as many of those requests as I can daily. And I want your request in that book as well, or drop it in the chat box. There's the chat box over there, or maybe it's over there. Yeah, that one. But drop a comment in the comments. What are your questions? What would you like? What would you like me to talk about for the next 20 minutes? I promise I'd do this for an hour. So what would you, if you knew no one was listening, what question would you ask? If you knew everyone was listening, what question would you ask? If you're just wondering what any part of this is, or how you can show up, drop a comment in on Facebook here, and I'll get to those. And if you wanted to join us live, we've got a way for that to do that as well. So if you wanted to come in here and join me right in the room, sit in that virtual chair back there. That's actually a real chair, but we put you in it virtually. If you wanted to join in and ask a question or pray or whatever it is, let me know. Reach out on the comments. And I would also say that if you're finding anything here of value, please subscribe. Please follow me. When you follow me, you have an opportunity to click the button that says show first in your notifications. And it's not that you'll see everything I do first. It means that you'll see the videos, especially the live videos. So you can set your Facebook to inform you when I go live. Be aware, currently I am doing what we call morning prayers and evening prayers. Last night was Daryl Jones. Tonight, I'm not sure who's going to be with me, but doing 2 shows a day, 2 live prayer sessions each day, where I'm getting a chance to be with people's prayers, to pray for whatever's coming up. I've got a great collection and a number of people that other ministers that are joining me, and musicians that are starting to join in and want to come be a part of all this. So that's really fun as well. And I would encourage you to come join me on one of those, either 8:15 a.m. and 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. So, however, and as I say that, I remember that Tuesdays might get changed. I'm not sure yet. I'm doing an online class on Tuesdays. I'm not teaching it. I'm going to take one. I've been teaching online for a number of years as well, and I realized there's an opportunity. I haven't taken a class in a while. It's kind of, I do a lot of self-learning when I want to learn something, and felt like, well, let's do this. So actually, my wife and I are doing this together, and we're doing it through Mile High Church. They're the class is called The Art of Life, and you can do that at no cost. Well, it's a love offering, so they ask for a love offering each week, and you can learn more about that over at milehighchurch.org. It's their Art of Living class. It's based on one of Joseph Campbell's books. So, we're going to do that on Tuesday nights, and I would encourage you to do something like that as well. It's really easy it's really easy right now to just say, I'm going to check out, and uh, call me when this is over, right? I'm going to check out booze, drugs, sex, whatever. There's nothing wrong with getting away from what's going on. But there is, in my opinion, I'm going to encourage you not to just check out. Because right now, more than anything, I believe it's important that we check in. We check in with ourselves. We check into what wants to be, where we're being called to go, and where we're being called to do something different. And honestly, if you check out, well, when we do get to the end of this thing, you're going to be behind the curve. Because everybody that's staying awake right now, everybody that's staying aware and using this time to better themselves, to better their business, to expand or grow their business or pivot their business, to grow and expand their own life, to look at where they're going and what they're doing differently, those are the winners here. Those are the people that are going to come out of this with everything they've desired, I believe. Because we are moving into a new chapter in human history. We are moving into a new vision of what it means to be human on the planet at this time. And in that's going to require change on our part. We have to show up differently, right? If Spirit's been telling you it's time to go to a plant-based diet, now's the time to listen. If Spirit's been telling you that you don't need this or that in your life, now's the time to listen. The things that no longer serve us are falling away in our lives. Now, I'm the kind of guy, I've been praying for this stuff forever. Didn't pray for it to look this way. I haven't been praying for thousands and thousands and thousands of people to die every day to make that opt-out decision and leave the planet. But I have been praying for old paradigms to crumble. I have been praying for the things that no longer serve me to just dissipate from my life back into the nothingness from whence they came. And that's a lot of what we're seeing. We're seeing old structures and old ideas and old paradigms just crumbling and falling away. We're going to continue to see that, folks, because we're in the midst of a wholesale change on how we get to show up on this planet. And when this virus has run its course, which could be a year or more before this virus is, quote, under control, as this thing runs its course, well, then our opportunity and what is being demanded of us is to step out in a new way, to show up differently, to be something other than what we've always been. And those that answer that call will be rewarded. Those that answer that call will be the change makers and the visionaries and the leaders and the leaders of the future. And those that choose to hide and stick their head in the sand. And I was on a call first thing this morning, 9:30. I'm on this phone on a Zoom, a G-Chat video conference, and somebody went off on the fact that this is a hoax and a conspiracy, and this isn't really happening, and this isn't such, and this is just okay. That's an interesting belief system. And the truth is, I can't say you're wrong because I don't know that they're wrong. But what I do know is that there is something magnificent that's coming out of all this. Now, you could just as easily sit there and say, no, this is the end of the world. And honestly, if that's where you're at right now, well, then please call me. Please send me an email. Let's get on a phone call. Let's talk about that. Because if you believe this is the end of the world, then it will be the end of yours. I don't believe this is the end of the world. I believe this is the birth of a brand new world. I believe this is the birth of a new consciousness, a new paradigm in human consciousness. I know that there's a great and glorious transition that's happening, and we're all on the transition team, whether we like it or not. Whether you like it or not, you're on the transition team. Because remember what I was saying a little while ago, your presence here is vital. Your presence on the planet at this time is absolutely vital. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. The very fact that you're here means that there is an avenue through which the power, presence, and intelligence that I call God needs to be expressed. And that it can only be expressed through the gifts and the skills and the talents that you bring. Been believing that for a decade or a couple decades now. Never going to get away from it. There is a great unfolding that is happening before our very eyes. Are you witness to it? Are you staying awake to it? Or are you burying your head in the sand? Are you denying? You're in a place that wants so badly to believe that this couldn't happen, that you're unable to see the true humanness that's happening. Yeah, in the mind of God, none of this matters. In the big picture of God's life, billions and billions and billions of years, this is a blip in the cosmic time frame. In the truth of God's mind and in the truth of God's life, there is no dis-ease or discord or disconnect. There is no division. There is a unity and a grand expression of life, of health and wholeness that is forever expressing itself. And because we're human, and there's no way around it, although my eldest does think that my youngest is an alien. That's another story for another time. The fact that we're here and that we're part of this oneness that's happening means there's got to be some good in here somewhere. Couldn't be any other way. One God, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that is everything. The knowledge, the wisdom, and it's showing up and expressing through it as your life, and your life is valuable. Your life is necessary to bring forth this great next vision. And in the grand scheme, there's going to be this little spot within the vision that looks kind of ugly, doesn't look exactly right. Imagine a giant masterpiece, a grand masterpiece, painted one brushstroke at a time, and you are a brushstroke amongst this painting. And in this one little corner of the painting, there's this ugliness, or what we think is ugly. There's this piece that just doesn't seem to fit. We're going to call that 2020. Second quarter. End of the first quarter, beginning of the second, right? That little ugliness amongst this grand canvas is just a small little blip. It's not the end of the world. We're going to make this. We've got this. God's got this. There is a healing that's happening within God's body right now. The body of God is being healed right now. Healed of any sense of division, healed of any sense of disease or discord or separation. We're being healed of all of that so that we may allow the magnificence, the creative power, the creative genius that is God's life to express through us, as us, through my hands, your hands, the whole 9 yards. Ask a minister anything. You'll get an answer. And what I know is what I believe is that I've been through enough training and been through enough classes and been through enough of everything that I can get my humanness out of the way. Now, I don't do that every moment of every day. I still get locked into this sucks and that's terrible, and the humanness creeps in. But what I also know is I know there is a God seed within, and I know I'm not nothing special here. I know we all have this. We've got that seed of God life within. We can tap into that. Some call it that still small voice, the place of the Most High. We each have the ability and the power to go within and to find that absolute truth and then share that and then express that and remind ourselves of that truth. So, yes, life happens in the midst of a day. And when that happens, I find myself assured. I find myself calm in the midst of the chaos because I know God's got this. I know it's not me doing the work. I know it's not the politicians doing the work. I know it's not really the doctors doing the work. I know it's God doing the work through their hands, through their hearts, through their minds. And so I recognize that everyone across this entire planet is a great blessing to humanity. I mean, we are rapidly learning what is essential and what is not. And I find it very interesting that the people that last week we didn't think were worth $15 an hour are now considered essential. Essential to the survival of humanity. And 2 weeks ago, we placed a hell of a lot more value on all the unessential workers out there. All the people that are all the people that are making the big money and are recognizing, sorry, but what you're doing was unessential. It was not essential to the evolution of humanity. Sports can be entertaining, but it's not essential. Music, now that's essential. And you know how you can tell? Because it's still going. Music, the musicians are casting that vibration across this entire globe, one house concert at a time. One person with a guitar at a time, one person with a piano and a voice singing a song, sharing the vibration of love and light and beauty and truth and health and wealth and well-being that is God's life. And in there is magic. I don't see too many people trying to play basketball virtually right now or any other organized sport. Is it good exercise? Absolutely. Is it good entertainment? Sure. Is it essential? Doesn't seem so. We're learning what's important in our lives. We're learning what keeps our lives going. I think it's a pretty cool time to be alive on the planet. And I'm planning on sticking around. So I invite you to make that same decision. I invite you to join in and make the decision that you're here for a purpose. To recognize that your unique set of gifts and skills and talents are incredibly valued, valuable, and vital to the evolution of human consciousness. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're hearing these words makes it so. There is a great unfolding. And I am excited to share it with you. I'm excited to share it with whoever shows up. So We're almost at the end of the hour. I promised myself I would do this as an hour long today. This is the first time I've tried this format, and I feel like I've rambled on for a while here, so didn't run out of anything to say. But then again, give a minister a microphone. But I would love to hear from you. Please drop a comment. Let me know what you thought of this. If you'd like to see more of these, I would love, and my vision here is that we can get together on Fridays, maybe earlier in the day, maybe I don't know, but we can get together on, at least once a week and do a full-on call-in program. Maybe myself and another guest host, and but we want to hear. I want to hear from people. And I want to bring people in the room live with me. I want you to come in to a Facebook Live and share what's really real for you. And we can do some work. We can talk. We can chat. We can just pray. We can cry and we can laugh. That's the beauty of what's going on in our world right now, is we are no longer beholden to the old ways of doing it. And as far as I'm concerned, no longer beholden to the old expectations of what it means to be a minister, to be a doctor, to be an influencer, to be whatever it is that you want to be in the world. See, there is that call within. There is this sacred thing that it's pulling you. It is demanding you that you show up right now more than ever. So whether that's a podcast host or whether that's writing a blog, whether that's singing or performing, there's a great resurgence happening in the arts, in the way we get to create community virtually. And what I know is we shall traverse this landscape. We shall traverse this experience. And we shall emerge on the other side. And when that happens, we shall hug again. I promise you that. I promise you that. We shall hug again. This physical isolation does not mean we have to stay isolated completely. Because in the big game, in the big truth, we're all connected anyway, folks. One human family. No separation. We are all connected. Oh. And it's here that I'm hearing that still small voice inside that's saying, yep, you're almost done here, dude. You did it. You made you set your goal and you made it through. I know that same truth for you right now. Right now, you have the time, you have the opportunity to set a goal. And what I know is you will be called to see it through. Set that vision for what you want your life to look like. And you have everything within you to see it through. This power called God is forever bringing forth all the resources, all the connections, all the right people, all the right everything to support you in fulfilling the grand mission that you are here to complete. And I get to witness it. For me, that's a cool place to be. And I'm happy to support you in that as well. So if I can support through prayer, through a shoulder to cry on, through a phone call or an email or video, please let me know. I'm here to serve. I'm here to show up. And I'm not taking no. I'm showing up with a sacred yes, no matter where God calls. So in the 67 seconds we have left here, I'm going to just slip into a place of absolute gratitude. A place, a feeling, a space, a vibration of absolute gratitude for the truth that has revealed itself here this day. Grateful to say yes to the way to showing up however God calls of me. Most especially grateful for the sense and the feeling of connection that this time has brought. And on top of it all, I am just incredibly grateful to know that God's got this. There's nothing I need to do or say or no way, nothing special, because it's not me. It's God that does this work. And so I release this word into the law that has already said yes, that is forever saying yes. And with that grateful heart, I just let it all be. And I affirm that all is well by saying, and so it is. And so it is, dear ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being with me. The very first edition of Ask a Minister Anything. And if this is a divine ideal in the mind of God, then I'll be back again. And if this was just a crazy human idea in the mind of Robert, then maybe I'll be back again too. I don't know. One way or the other. I know that everything is working out exactly as it must. I appreciate you being with me. Until we touch base in the virtual world again, peace and blessings. You be you. I love you. Peace and blessings. We'll see you soon.